All right. Good morning, Alta Realty Group agents. This is Kevin Lauren. I'm the Director of Training and Marketing here. And today's presentation, we're going to talk all about listings. And with a lot less listings these days, we got to make sure that we're doing a really, really good job in presenting our listings. So before we get into it, let me bring on Bill Seitz, the Director of Clearview Mortgage for us. Good morning, Bill. How are you doing today?
Good. Good morning, Kevin. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, Bill. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Can you hear me or no?
Yep.
Okay, how about Travis? Good morning, Travis. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can hear Bill too, but he's really, I don't know,
Testing. One,
kind
two,
of quiet.
Can you hear me, Kev?
Yeah.
Oh, weird. Okay. I can hear you guys perfect.
For some reason, can't hear Bill or Travis.
Oh, well, I guess Kevin's the one that can't hear us.
I hear Trav. I hear Kev.
Yeah.
Testing. One, two.
You are there on our end, buddy.
Let's see. Let me try something else, guys. Sorry about this. Okay. For some reason,
Can you hear us now, Kevin?
okay, so you guys can hear us. I can't hear you guys for some reason. Okay, let me fix my headset, guys. All right, testing my mic. That's good. Testing my volume. Okay.
Can you hear us now?
Travis.
Yeah.
Okay.
Guess you can roll into mortgages.
Yeah. I mean, I'll give him about 30 more seconds, and I'll just go into something I wanted to bring up today.
Okay.
It's pretty important. Technology. Sometimes it's not all it's cracked up to be.
I know, right?
Yeah, I think everyone's been zoomed out.
Are your kids doing a lot of Zooms at school?
Oh my gosh, it is just overly zoomed.
I feel like it's hard to keep their attention.
Oh, and then they're in their room and they don't know if they're, distracted by other things, and just you don't realize how much you appreciate them going back into a physical classroom.
I know. I think they appreciate more now too.
Right? Oh my gosh. Let's just hope that they go back to school in the fall.
All right. I think I told Kevin you're going to go ahead and start into mortgages. He said, great. So we'll let him figure that out and let's go ahead and get started.
Okay. So one, I wanted I've been getting a couple phone calls this week about forbearance, and I'm sure many of us have heard that term lately, especially what's been going on with, certain sectors of the economy and certain jobs, and people have, unfortunately are in potentially hardship status with their work and their profession. And so forbearance, and I kind of mentioned this a couple of weeks ago, maybe 4 or 5 weeks ago, and I had just been talking to some of my contacts at the banks and saying, hey, what's your guys's view on forbearance? And the overwhelming response was, and I talked to 2 different banks yesterday as well, is that you do not want to go into forbearance unless you absolutely have to. And that's where that's the difference between basically putting maybe food on the table, or paying your basic bills, or getting gas, or whatever it is. Because I had a client call me over the weekend saying, "Hey, I want to refinance, my home's, we've kind of maxed out our credit cards. We're finishing a remodel. We owe 900,000, but the home's worth 1.8. I'm like, okay, that sounds like a pretty solid scenario, right? He's loan to value is 50%, 900 to 1.8. And so I started digging a little deeper, and he says, oh yeah, he actually didn't use the right term at first. I was like, oh, did you, get some sort of, deferred pay? He used the deferred payment. And I said, what do you mean, forbearance? He's, oh yeah. We didn't do our last payment. And so I said, I'm not sure, about this, because, what the banks are going to do now, and who knows, they may change things, but the reality is this: if you go into forbearance, you need to bring your account current, right? So if you go 2-3 months without paying your mortgage payment, you have to bring it current with your penalties and, late fees, whatever it is. And then you have to show a 12-month mortgage history of being current in order to get traditional financing. So, it's actually really unfortunate for this family that I know very well. And the gentleman makes good money. He's a W-2 wage earner. He, does well. He's got a family of 5. And I don't know if he just got poor information along the way, but this is going to be hard. I don't know, how he's going to restructure his financing at this point because of missing that, or going into forbearance with his lender. And so I just think it's very, very important, now that we're going to probably see more of this, that all of us that are doing real estate, either on the agent side or the loan officer side, we really need to be aware of these rules and these guidelines, so we can educate our clients appropriately, because this is going to be a big problem for some people. And you can see my case, guy has a good job. He got plenty of equity, probably would be able to qualify, but maybe got a little bit of poor advice, or maybe just thought, oh, I can, everyone's gonna be able to skip a couple payments. Well, now he's going to be in trouble. So I think that's, something that we need to be aware of. And additionally, the difference between forbearance and foreclosures is a little bit different. Foreclosure, right? The bank is filing certain documents into title along the way, right? Someone's going into foreclosure. There's a notice of default, notice of sale, and the title company kind of knows exactly where things are standing. And if you're, helping somebody through that pre-foreclosure sale, whatever, you guys kind of have an idea of what's owed. You get a payoff. Well, if you are helping somebody in forbearance, you might not know what those penalties and back due, payments are, which could affect your closing and your bottom line for your seller. So just important to know those two differences. And I think, as we get into the later summer and in the fall, we're probably all going to be encountering some of these situations. So just wanted to kind of spread that information out to everyone today, and just let everyone know how important it is to avoid forbearance if at all possible.
Yeah, that's a good call. Bill, can you hear me now?
Absolutely. You're back.
Okay. I guess you guys could always hear me. For some reason, my headset is dead, so I just had to go fish out a new headset. I'm back.
Went fishing.
It did, yeah. Okay, so sorry about that, guys. The joys of running live webinars. It's always going to be there. But thanks for that, Bill. I appreciate it. So today we're going to talk about, let me share my other screen here. One sec, guys. So today we're going to be, like I said, we're going to be talking about the listings. And, there's less listings now, right, Bill? So we got to do what we can to, make sure that our listings stand out. So, listings are, they're the bread and butter of our business. So when we get one, we have to really treat these things properly, right? And so one of the things that we need to do is we need to make sure that our listing stands out from the other listings, because there's going to be, competition. So the first thing that we need to think about is just preparing extensively. And that means pre-order inspection reports, get every clearance and upgrade as necessary. The ones that, remember, the listings that are out there are just gold for us. We've got to, make these things really, really, stand out. And so the other thing is when we have a listing, we need, even if it's a lower price point, we need to always be thinking that this listing is going to get us more listings. So, you've got to think that you're going to invest in this listing, but you're also investing in future listings, right? And Travis, I know that you are a really good preparer on your listings. So how important it is to prepare extensively right when you get that listing?
I think now more than ever, really, really have a plan with how you're going to be marketing the property. I think we all have to change our conversation a little bit and our messaging with, how we handle the care of the listing as far as, letting people in and out and sanitation. And, we have new topics that we need to bring up and talk about or answer questions to, because a lot of these homeowners are going to have some different questions than what we're used to in the past. So, definitely prepare, these types of answers to the questions that, may come up, and have it ready, have a plan in place, how you're going to show the home, what you do to, keep everybody entering safe and the residents of the home as well, and
right.
Find out what their comfort level is with it. So,
for sure.
Yeah, adding that into the listing presentation, I think, is really key right now.
Absolutely. So, the other thing is, exactly like Travis is saying, preparing also means, what is your strategy for, bringing people in with respect to COVID? Do you have the disclosures ready to go? Have them printed out. So have everything ready to go. Don't leave things, to the last second, right?
Exactly. And if you saw it in the Facebook group, I did post up, and I think Carr sent it out too. There is a new, I guess you can call it a flyer, having that ready, explaining it to the homeowners that it needs to be, in a window on the front door or something like that. And it's basically an advisory for people entering the home. So, have this stuff ready so they can see it, they know what it is, and they can be prepared and feel like, everything is going to be okay with
right. And even, you can get this stuff signed digitally prior to the appointment, right?
Exactly. Yep.
You can send these things out via DocuSign, or our SkySlope system has its own DocuSign, DigiSign, or whatever they call it. So we have the tools. Utilize the tools. Be prepared, and then that one little step is going to set you aside from certain agents that aren't prepared. So that's number one. Number two is stage. You've got to stage these homes, especially for the pictures, because we know that a lot of our buyers might not be doing in-person inspections. They might or viewings. You're going to maybe have to do some other creative things, like, I'll get to in a second, like a FaceTime walkthrough or a Zoom walkthrough, where you're walking through the home, the person's on the other side of on their phone or on their computer, and you're showing them around. So having these listings staged fully is going to be even more important than it ever has been. And so, especially, when you get, and I know a lot of our agents are good at staging themselves. A lot of our agents have staging, things that they store and they bring out, and they do a really good job. But if that's not your forte, don't be afraid to spend the money and get somebody to help you with the staging, because it is a little bit, it's looking at properties online, it's kind of like online dating, right? So buyers are giving sellers a couple seconds to grab their attention, right? It's just, you got to have something that's stunning to go, wow, look at that. And I look at real estate all the time. I'm not in the market to buy anything right now, but I look at it all the time. And when I'm scrolling through stuff, what pops out to me, the things that are, you know, staged properly and look really good. And then that leads to the third thing is photography and video. Hugest thing that we can do to promote our listings, I think. And, you know, gone are the days of, you know, hey, I'm just going to take a couple pictures with my cell phone. As we know, we can kind of get lucky every once in a while and get some decent ones, but that's not what we're looking for. And that's not how we're going to get the next listing, because, you know, somebody that's looking at your stuff and, you know, wants to see what kind of an agent you are and how you market your properties, they go through and they, you know, see some of your single property websites and so forth. They're not going to be very impressed, are they? So let me share my other screen here. One sec.
Something I'd like to tap on too is,
Yeah.
you know, the use of flyers is really discouraged right now. And so using the text marketing within agent marketing, I think there's no time better than now really to implement that kind of thing, because you know, what easier way to get your video tours and everything else out to the public than to have, you can get a sign writer. They're a couple bucks with the text code on it, and they can text that and get the video walkthrough right there instead of, you know, pulling a flyer. And, you know, your lead gen's probably going to pick up significantly, because it's kind of the norm right now as far as there not being flyers and people having to view these walkthrough videos before scheduling a tour and stuff like that. So I would recommend looking into that. It's very easy to set up. It's going to cost you a couple extra bucks for a sign writer, but it will be an excellent way to get your video tours out into the public.
For sure. And let me just go into our agent marketing system and just remind people where that is. So in our leads area over here, go down to my texts, and this is where we set up our text. So Rhonda has text writers that say, text Rhonda Holmes to 79564 to see all the info about this property, right? And so when somebody does that, they end up on Rhonda's single property website, right? And the way that we do that is we take this URL, we copy it, and we go into our text area and we edit, and we go, okay, I'm going to put this link, paste into here. And so now, so what does that do? That makes it so we can reuse that sign writer. So again, the sign writer has the words, text Rhonda Holmes to 79564 to see all the info. So say Rhonda sells that home and she gets a new listing, she can take that same sign writer and she can now just put in her new property address. So the sign writers are usable over and over again. And this is really important. Every agent that is with us needs to be doing this. I mean, and like Travis said, especially now, because, you know, people don't want to get out and grab a flyer that has COVID-19 virus all over it. Right?
Yeah, they don't want to touch stuff. So
they don't want to touch stuff.
And if you haven't used the text marketing, what happens from there is when someone texts that link that Kevin just replaced in there, that message is an autoresponder. So that gets sent back to the prospect's cell phone, and they're going to get, you know, it's going to open up into their phone on their text messages. So, and then in return, you get a lead for, you know, you get their cell phone number, which is obviously the best.
Yeah.
So
then it ends up in your CRM, in your client area, right? So very, very cool stuff. And again, so everybody needs to be doing that. So with respect to photography and video, you know, I suggest, we do have a good partner, Preview First, great guy named Paolo, and his whole team. They're generally in Southern California, but they do have affiliates in other areas up in Northern Cal. So if you need some really good professional photography, Preview First is somebody that I would recommend. And they do a really good job. Let me just go down. And so, you know, Photoshop in listing photography is really important, because if you take a regular picture, you're not going to see out and see the view, right? You have to have somebody that's an expert that will be able to manipulate these photos and turn them into gold, right, Travis?
Yep. They do a good job. They're very consistent too.
Yeah, very consistent. They also do so, and look at the prices. The prices are not bad.
Yeah, totally reasonable. Yep.
Everybody can afford this. You know, I don't care if it's a, you know, a $250,000 listing. If this thing, you know, you want to be able to sell your next properties, you have to be able to present yourself as super professional, even if it is a lower price point, because that's what's going to get you to the higher price points, right?
Yeah, their twilights turn out pretty good. I did a twilight one a couple months back, and it turned out really good.
Cool. Yeah, the twilight ones I think are really awesome. You know, you've got some really good lighting, and you know, you can have the outside lights on, and they really end up looking great. Then they also do have video packages. So, you know, they'll do it all. They'll do aerial videos, they'll do, you know, the drone footage, all of it. So we have the resources, there's no excuse. So that is definitely something that's going to separate you from, and your listing from, the other listings, right? And then the other thing I want to say is, you know, don't be afraid to do walkthroughs with your client using FaceTime or using Zoom. You know, these are easy things that you guys can do. And it is okay to walk around with your cell phone and walk through the property and show them exactly what you're looking at. Right, Travis?
Yeah, I think it's, people really like that a lot. I have it's a rental listing right now that I picked up. She uses me to get it, you know, rented out. And she has an amazing property. I mean, it's just a magical place. It's got a spectacular yard over there. And so we're really scrutinizing the, and kind of pre-qualifying people to actually go and view it. So I did 2 video walkthroughs. I did one of the interior and one of the exterior. And people have really liked it because they can see, you know, the pictures just don't do this place justice. And
Yeah.
so I've gotten a lot of action on the videos. They said they were very helpful with, you know, explaining the property and the magnitude of what the property is. So yeah, I definitely recommend doing it. And I just did a cell phone one. I didn't do anything professional.
No, but that's a good point though, Travis, because cell phone video is okay. Cell phone photos, like, you know, trying to use them as professional photos, that's not okay. But the cell phone video is absolutely okay.
If I was listing it for sale, I would probably pay Preview First to do an actual video like this.
Yes.
Because it's that type of property. But again, it's a rental, you know, commission's a little low on it. But I still needed to convey to the consumer, you know, what this property entails as far as the yard, because it's like I said, it's pretty crazy. So
yeah, and again, like when you have an opportunity to you know, do an amazing job with that kind of a property, you know that's going to get you other listings, Travis.
Well, exactly, and you know, I want to sell this home someday. That's the main reason why I continue to do this for. This is the 3rd time I've put tenants in, and you know, I'm hoping to sell it one day. She's not quite there yet, but
hey, it's a marathon, not a sprint.
Yep, exactly.
Very cool. So then item 4 on our list would be to document everything completely. You know, and that goes back to, you know, the step 1, you know, just that prepare extensively. So have all the required documentation available, including the inspection reports, disclosures, anything that you know, a buying agent would need, and have it all readily available online. So you can easily zip that stuff out to people, right? Because if you're the organized one, you're the one that has everything done properly, agents are going to start wanting to work with you. You're going to start to get a you know, a reputation among other agents in your area. Wow, that guy's really, or that gal's really professional, and I want to work with that kind of person. And you're setting the stage and the tone for being the expert, which is really, really key for our agents that really want to dominate their particular farm. So really, really, important step forward, document everything completely and have it available. And then number 5 is arguably the most important, which is to price the property strategically. So, this is not the time for sellers to be over optimistic and go for unrealistic high prices. The market's softening, sellers must be able to price ahead of it, and buyers are currently looking for bargains, just like we were talking about earlier. We're seeing, or Bill discussed earlier, we're seeing, people come in pretty low on stuff. And, prices, when homes are priced too high, they're going to go ahead and, just like in the dating apps, they're going to swipe left and move on. So we got to make sure that we're priced strategically. We got to get it all right, and the listings, stand a chance of selling. But so important for us to, do these steps and to make sure that our listings stand out. And I think we can all agree that really the video and the images, there's no substitute for that. And that's really the way that we can make our properties look really, really good. Bill, are you with us still?
I am.
Bill, any takeaways on photography and staging and, just being completely you're ready to go with all of your documents?
Yeah, a couple things. The staging, I think, depending on the price point of the home you're selling. At one point, many moons ago, I was with before we started this company, and I was just working as a residential, agent. I was with a high-end firm here in Newport Beach, and some of these homes can be priced, $1.2 million, $3 million, $4 million, $5 million and up, and sometimes, the staging can run thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars.
Sure.
And with some of those homes, they sit on the market potentially longer than others because your pool of buyers is only so big, right? So as your price point ratchets up, a $3 million pool of buyers is a lot smaller than an $800,000 pool of buyers, right? So it gets, and so sometimes what I was seeing was that sometimes the listing agent would either pass that cost off to the seller, or they would share the cost. But I think you just really got to be mindful of that, because if you're in a very high price point luxury market, be very careful with that cost. That could be detrimental to your your profitability and getting out of that transaction with some money in your pocket.
Yeah, exactly.
And then,
well said.
Yeah, and then also, with the photography and the video, one of the reasons we created this platform at Alta was we really give you guys the flexibility and the opportunity to invest in your business. And if you're making 98% on average of the gross commission, which we pass along the savings to you guys, there's no reason to skip out on this stuff. Like, if you want to be a true professional agent and you want to do more deals and you want to show that you're a high level person, you don't go around taking pictures with the iPhone and putting those in the MLS. It looks horrible, and I think maybe you can get away with the video, as you said, Kevin. But just spend the $300, $400. It's really truly worth it, and it just will elevate your profile as a professional agent. Show your sellers that you're willing to invest. Put your money where your mouth is, right? Because as sellers, as selling agents, we have to put our money where our mouth is. If someone's gonna hire us to sell their home, you better be able to sell the home. You know what I mean?
That's your job. Thank you.
And so, those are two things that kind of stuck out for me. And then, Travis, on the COVID stuff, is there a link for all the forms, or is it kind of scattered through your car? Do you have to kind of go search for this one and that one?
Yeah, and they just keep adding more and more. If you're in zip forms, I mean, everything's in zip forms. If you go to that microsite, they've got a lot of information there too. But we could talk about that again next week, maybe updates, because they have made, some revisions on some of them. But, I'm not going to go into it. You can reach out to me direct if you're have questions on that.
Yeah. But as you know, right now, there's not like a one link one link place for all the pushed out forms that Car Legal's done.
If it is, it's on their microsite, the COVID microsite.
Okay.
I think they have them there. I just don't know if they're all in one place.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. So again, if you have specific questions or you're having trouble, you guys can reach out to us.
Yeah.
But with that, we are out of time. But really appreciate you guys coming on our webinar as usual. Any specific questions, just contact us directly. In the replay that I send out, I'll make sure that I have a link to previewfirst.com and Paolo's direct information, so you guys can make sure that you have great video and photography for all of your listings. So Bill and Travis, thanks for joining us, and you guys get out there and make it a productive week, and we'll see you guys on the webinar next week. Bye-bye.